Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Owner's Box. I'm Billy Koch, founder and managing partner of the Little Red Feather Racing Club. Alongside me, as always, is the great Michelle Yu with her hair down today. Looks like
It's
she's
clean.
I mean, did you shower?
I did. I showered. I actually
Fantastic.
shower every day. I just don't wash my hair every
You're an
day.
everyday shower. I know people who are like two showers a day. I'm
Yeah, that's too much. I mean, like, if there's a reason for it, yeah. My thing is, I literally cannot get into bed without a shower. If I am out
really.
all night on like a
Oh.
rage bender and I'm stumbling in the house and I can't even see, I'm like, shower first.
Um, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
It I've been doing an afternoon ocean, or maybe like late morning ocean. And is that considered a shower? Because I have not been showering after going in the ocean.
Oh my God, that is so foul. Are you serious right now? Oh my God. I like literally when my kids go to the water, I'm like, I bring soap and I'm like hosing them down and like the ice cold
Yeah,
garden hose at the end. Like,
yeah.
no shot, no shot.
I kinda like the feeling of the salt kinda on me.
I literally died right now. Oh my gosh.
Alright,
That is the
let's get
first time
into
I found you unattractive, Billy. If you came into my house and you were like sandy and salty, I would be like, turn around. You have to go home now.
Michael Foster, who owns Next, is going to join us today very shortly. But before we do, we'll talk a little bit about the comings and goings and the three things of note from Michelle. I want to say I did see you at the Jockey Karaoke. I don't know if that's one of your three
It
things
is.
of
That's
note.
number one.
All right, let's talk about it.
So it was jockey karaoke this week to benefit the PDJF. Billy was a judge. I was stage mom. So I wrangled the guys in the
Yeah,
back
you were
because
great.
they like cannot tell when they go on and off.
It's like herding cats.
It is like herding cats, seriously. You have to like
Yeah,
remind them every 2 minutes what's going to happen. I
right.
thought overall it was a super fun night. We did have some really nice live auction items. Jeannie Buss donated floor seats to the Lakers.
That was
And
awesome.
so that was like a huge fundraiser. So thank you so much to Purple Rain Racing. And it was you, Doug, and some poor guy that got dragged in there. I guess he started the Food and Wine Festival in San
Yes.
Diego. So he's
Yeah,
not
he's
a
a good.
racing guy. He must have thought we were absolutely insane.
No, he loved it. He had a
Did
great
he?
time. Yeah, he was having a lot of fun. He was a lot of fun. How were the judges okay? Like, I want you to be very critical.
The judging
Critical.
was good. I am on your team. Like it
Right.
is a singing competition, right? So
Right.
like I mean, and to be fair, if you don't sing, you don't sing. Like you're out there doing it. But like the singing should be paramount. And I yelled at Emily afterwards, which the girls, Emily and Jessica
I
Pfeiffer, won
know.
People's Choice because Emily didn't sing half the time.
No, her
They were just
microphone was like down here, and like they
yeah,
have such an elaborate dance moves, which
dance
were
right.
great, but they didn't sing. And
I
that's
agree.
why I thought Umberto was actually the best singer, to be honest with you.
You know, at the very end of Fresu, when they went a cappella with like no, and everyone was
Yeah,
singing along,
he
he
was good.
sounded really, I thought he was going to win, right?
Yeah,
Like
he
I
was
thought he
up
was going to
there.
win.
Yeah.
He did good. And Umberto and Kyle Fry ended up winning the whole thing doing the Backstreet Boys. And they did it right. They came in the costume. They did a
Yeah.
song that everyone wanted to sing, right?
Right.
Like it was really, in
Smart.
fact, it was so good. They opted to not use like the closing song where everyone like comes out and does it because
Right.
they just like blew the doors off, which
It
was a
was so
great
good.
audible to call,
It was great. Mike Joyce
right?
did a great job. Hopefully, we
Mhm.
raised a lot of money for the PDJF. And
The
yeah,
judges
they've
were
invited
good. You guys were funny. There were definitely some inappropriate statements made that I won't repeat here, but I
Doug.
love it.
Doug.
I loved it.
Jiminy Christmas, Doug.
So good. It was
All
so good.
right. Well, that was
So,
fun.
other two quick things of note before we bring in Michael Foster, who I see just checked in. So just give us 1 minute, Michael, and we'll grab you. There were a couple grade ones over at Saratoga, Carson's Run, Nachia grade one, and Carl Spackler, who's been pretty well thought of, got his
Yeah.
grade one in the 4-star Dave. So both of those were really good races. And we also had the Arlington Million Day over at Colonial, which was a really good race day as well. Although I saw the results, I didn't watch any of the races.
Uh,
Did
uh,
you?
yeah, I watched them all.
No, you're so good.
I always
It's
watch
so hard
races.
when you have no internet and no TV.
Yeah.
Okay, ready to bring in our guest. Let's bring him in.
All right, let's go. Michael
Ta-ta!
Foster. Michael Foster. Mike
Michael
Foster.
How are you? Thank you
Good
for
man.
having me.
How are you?
Great.
You look good. Where are you?
I'm in my condo down in St. Petersburg, Florida, south on Boca Ciega Bay. This is where we winter at. And we normally have a condo right up in northern Kentucky, so I can get to Turfway Park within 15 minutes. But
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice, nice.
That's nice.
Now, wait,
Tell
you
us-
said you winter down there. It is definitely not winter right now.
it is not. It's been very toasty, to say the least, and but it could be worse.
Could be worse.
No
Well,
hurricanes right now. We dodged
Listen.
another bullet last week. So
that's good. We're going to talk about next. We want to get into his story. But before we do, what we'd like to do on the show is kind of introduce you to our audience. Who knows Mike Foster? You know, how did you get involved in horse racing? Take us back. Give us your story. That's what the people want to hear.
sure. I always loved going to the racetrack. I traveled for a living for 30 plus years. And
Doing what? What was your profession?
I was in sales and management. I worked for a Wall Street firm and managed wholesalers and various things, national account work or whatever. But whenever, even prior to that, every track I could go to in the country, I'd stop to. Louisiana, Illinois, California, you name it. That was my passion. We'd get a group, the family, or all the couples would go to Vegas. Not me. I sit in the sports book room and just handicapped all day long. And I really wasn't a good handicapper per se. I could read the form, but not well. I got lucky and retired at 56, and I hired a professional handicapper out of Las Vegas, and he taught me how the pros handicap.
Really?
Oh.
Yes.
Wait. Let's
I
stop.
want to know one tip.
Yeah,
I
I
want one tip.
want to know what you learned. What was the key?
The key was really how to read between the lines to see if a horse was progressing or degressing. And I used that a lot. And then also, when you started going to these tournaments, you had to pick big winners. You couldn't win,
Right.
chalk horse picks and stuff like that. And I went to several tournaments, went to Las Vegas and did okay. But I said to myself, it's a lot of work and I don't need to make a living doing it. I might as well go back to Wall Street and make more money than handicapping. But I loved handicapping, and it's really helped me a great deal in claiming horses. It really has. Of course, the main help has been my trainer, Doug Counts, who's an unbelievable trainer. But that's my story and my claim to fame handicapping, and that's when I really was last. I hit the I think it was 08 or 09, I hit the $560,000 pick six at Del Mar the last day where they carried.
Wow.
I picked all six. We had a little syndicate group together, and I picked all six winners. And not that I'm a genius, just got lucky. But I love handicapping. I never bet on my horse, though. I never bet on my horses.
Why is that?
Superstitious. It's just one of those things. I just don't bet on.
That's, you know what? That's so smart. Someone asked me
I'm
the
the
other day.
same. I never bet on my horses.
Someone asked me the other day, like, do you bet on your horses? And I said, if I think they're going to win. Yeah. But that's a great call. Maybe I'll start that, Michelle. I think it's a good idea. I might be done betting.
Well, you're invested as it is, so I don't want to put any. I'm just super old school superstitious. I can't help it.
What was the first horse?
Billy,
that
do you remember when I made you the poem? Do you remember when I made you the poem about you gambling?
Yes, I do remember that. That was a good poem. Yeah, that was a good poem. Well, Mike, what was the first horse you claimed?
It's a great story. I'm telling you. I met my trainer.
That's why we brought you here.
That's what I'm saying. So I almost got spoiled. We started buying some yearlings, but we claimed our first horse at Turfway Park.
Okay.
A little 15,000 claimer. Albert Stahl bred this horse. It was very talented, but we knew it had issues. Long story short, we claim it. It doesn't win. It hits the gate and bangs itself up. We run it back in 30 days, and I win. I win my first race ever, first time out.
Oh, too easy,
now,
too easy.
It gets better. So that was in September. So we go to Mountaineer. And, Mountaineer is Mountaineer. But they had nice allowance purchases back in 09. We go to Mountaineer, and I win by 7-8 lengths. Just a cake. So I'm 2 for 2. Said, this is easy. God, I'm on fire. And then all hell broke loose. I mean, we started claiming horses, and some didn't work out. But then we had colic surgery with babies and, the whole thing. So both my break trainer and Doug said, you're either going to be up here or down here. It's high and lows. And you'll find out real quick in the first 2 years if you're cut out to be an owner. And he was right, but we stuck with it, and we've had a lot of success.
It's amazing. We talk about that all the time on just how hard this game is. And I think you just kind of encapsulated the whole thing, because even after that 2 years, there's probably a lot of people that would have left. I don't know. My friend Bob Feld always says you have to wear big boy pants in this game. Tell us a little bit. So that first 2 years, like, was there a time where you were like
the following year, my first, of course, we started out mainly with the Ohio program. It was pretty good back then before things got tough. But my first stakes winner, I bought from Bob Baffert. Bob personally and his wife owned a Ohio bred and was racing it out in California. And obviously it didn't fit Bob's program. So the week of the Kentucky Derby, when Pioneer of the Now was running, I got a hold of Bob in the stall with the horse, and we negotiated a price. And I bought a horse called Hurley's Way, which, there's a street out there. He named it after that street out there. And so we shipped him back, and we ran second in a turf race and then won the Gold Cup in Ohio. So I've had a lot of success in the Ohio program as well. But that was my first stakes win. Obviously not a graded stakes, but I did a lot of claiming, and then started buying the babies and going through that process, which you know how that works. But we do a combination of both. But we go to all the auctions, Fazig, Tipton, Keeneland at Lexington, and then all horses of all ages. We do every sale out there. I'm not a big fan of digital right now because Doug, my trainer, loves to physically inspect the horses, and we get a little nervous on the digital sales, but we still look at them seriously.
That's good. Go ahead, Michelle.
We keep talking about Doug and the we. I hope I didn't miss this. How did you and Doug come to be a partnership?
It's real good story. A trainer I lived in Centerville, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati. And George Smith, who unfortunately had passed away, George was a gentleman and a great breeder and a good owner. He did it all. And I got to know him handicapped. We'd always go down to a little track called Lebanon before it burnt down and they redid all that. But I met George and I said, George, I'm thinking about owning horses. I said, I need a trainer. Who would you recommend? He goes, there's a young man called Doug Cowens. He's in his 30s, Mike, and you'll like this guy. And so I drove over to Beulah Park when it was still in operation for the start of the winter meet. And Doug and I hit it off. And I said, Doug, you interested in putting up with me? He said, sure. So we started buying babies and claiming, and the rest is history. And we've become very, very close friends. And he's the only trainer I've ever used.
Wow.
The only trainer I plan to ever use unless he fires me. But he's a
I don't think he's going to fire you.
He's an amazing horseman. He's my agent for all the auctions. We obviously we vet all the horses out. We do it right. We spend the extra money when we go to the auctions and vet every horse out. We just don't rely on the piece of paper that they submit.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah. Saved us a lot of money over the days. Yeah.
All right, Michelle, keep going.
Mike, since you go to so many of the sales and you kind of vary between yearlings and sounds like in training sales, etc., what are you guys looking for? Just a subliminal athlete, or do you want, hey, I want a turf horse, I want a dirt horse, I want to win the Derby? Do you have a goal in mind?
Our goal, honestly, we all like to hit the home runs. We want to find a good allowance horse. The problem of it is financially, Doug puts the brakes on me. We want to keep, I can't compete, or I can compete, but I'm not going to compete with the big barns out there that'll spend $300,000 to $1 million and not blink an eye. I mean,
right.
Can I do it? Maybe, yeah, I could, but we want to have fun and enjoy racing for what it is. So I plan on, like any owner, I run it as a business. It's not a hobby or a little thing on the side. We do it right. But we just want to find a good horse that can stay sound. And Doug's very good on identifying a good conformation, but he likes a horse that's really balanced and athletic and has got a good mind. And we go from there. And then quite honestly, Doug picks so many horses, but we just can't compete. They just blow these horses out of the water, especially in today's market with the limited amount of horses coming up. And the money's just crazy, and it's going to get crazier. I mean, I think they're trying to run guys like me out of the business, not intentionally. But it's
we need guys like you. Believe me, Mike, I feel the same way with the horses we buy. It's a tough market out there, and it's amazing when they say, isn't it amazing that you hear the rhetoric of horse racing's on the decline, blah blah blah. No one look, and meanwhile, our sales numbers are higher than ever. Why is that? Why the dichotomy?
My theory, I think They want horse racing to go back like it was in the 1800s and early 1900s, where the big boys owned the tracks and they owned all the racehorses. And they don't want my Next out there kicking the rear end.
Yeah.
Well, it's not only the big boys too.
These big barns, but they want to own the market.
Yeah.
Well, it's the big boys are becoming friends too. So it's not just, King George and King James. It's like George and James are getting together now. Like when you look at the Saratoga sale, we were talking the other day, and the top 3 or 4 buyers are the top third of the marketplace. That makes it really hard for, like you say, the middle market buyer, or like Billy is, or the middle to lower end buyer like we are.
The syndicates are killing us too. I mean, I hate to say that, and I know it's fun I think it helps promote horse racing, and we need to do that big time. I'm a big proponent of that. But these syndicates, you know how they're structured, and it's money that it's not their money that they're buying these horses with. And it may be fun, but to me, that's not truly owning a horse. I mean, my best partner is myself and my wife, and that's the extent of it. And then I guess get on a horse if he wanted to, but he knows better. He says, I can't afford him.
I guess I won't be calling Mike to join Little Red Feather, Michelle. That's just, that was going to be right after this. I was going to call Mike, but I don't think it's going to happen now. So,
all right, Mike, since we talked a little bit about Next, tell us how it came to be. If you guys don't know who Next is, you obviously haven't been watching horse racing, because I feel like for the last at least 4 months, he's been an absolute standout star in racing. His last race, he won by 27 lengths or something crazy. He's awesome.
Michelle, I have this up before Mike talks.
Okay.
Saratoga, he won the Birdstone. Before that, he won the Brooklyn. Before that, he won the Isaac Murphy. Before that, he won the Greenwood Cup. Before that, he won the Birdstone. And then before that, he won the Grade 2 Brooklyn. He's won 1, 2, 3, 6 races in a row, and he's won 8 out of 9, I believe. Mike, give us the story.
I tell you what, obviously the claim of the century for me, the horse of the lifetime for me, and as well for Doug. I mean, it's all as a result of Doug. Here's a guy that runs a stable of 40 to 50 horses on average. And I'm just amazed how some of these big time owners don't come to him because of the attention to detail. He's put together a staff of assistant trainers and handlers that they act like they own this horse. I've never seen anything like it. But Next was an interesting choice. The advantage we had is that Doug watched him run at Turfway and knew there was probably something going on with the horse, not maybe physically, but just something wasn't happening. So when you handicap this horse, you can read between the lines. This was a talented horse, and they knew this horse had ability. He ran in the Juvenile Breeders' Cup. He won a stake race. But if you look at his record of running, he was all over the board. But our goal was to tag him and maybe have a good allowance horse, because the purses are so huge in Kentucky, as you well know, and a value buy 62.5. Believe me, I've tagged horses for a lot more than that and not worked out. But we got him, and we ran him on the grass. And you talk about exposing yourself. We ran him for a 50,000 tag.
Yeah, I noticed that. You claimed him for 62.5 in 2022.
And he ran last in that 7 furlong race when we tagged him. Nobody, of course, all of a sudden, it's amazing all these people come out of the woodwork and say, well, we had a tag on him, Mike. He said, you didn't have a tag on him. Nobody came after him. When we
can actually check that now. We know how many people were.
Yeah, we can check and be like, oh, let's see how many shakes there were on this horse.
Yeah, we can do a fact check.
And no tags on the 50. So, and then we ran at Ellis Park, and it just didn't go well. But the horse didn't do anything wrong. It's just that Doug was still tinkering with this horse, and he kept saying, Mike, this horse has stamina, but I just can't figure it out. So that's when we decided to go to Delaware. And it was a grass race, 1.5 miles, and decent race, a nice little purse on it. So here's a good way to test drive this horse. And it got rained out off the grass.
Right.
I mean, we took off and we told Lewin the Machado, set off the pace. Let's just see what he's got. Well, Lewin said, I'm pulling him. I'm checking him the whole part of the race. And he said, at about a mile marker, he said, I just let go of the mane and let him take over. And he wins by 20 lengths, and he sets the track record, and we didn't even push him. I go, oh boy. And that's when we got the fever, and that's when we went to the Thoroughbred Alliance Aftercare G2 race, Breeders' Cup Day on Friday.
That's right.
I mean, gate to wire, and we went in morning line at 15-1 at the paddock. 7-1, and at the gate 5-1. And Indian Charlie wrote an article 2 days before that race and said, if you don't bet on this horse, this is the best value bet you'll find for 2 days. He said this horse will win like taking candy from a baby, and he wasn't lying. And the rest is history. I mean, this horse. But
what do you think, Mike? Mike, let me stop you real quick, because you said Doug was tinkering. Did he ever come to you and said, "Hey, I figured it out," or was it kind of just the horse figuring it out?
Combination of both. He says when he really realized, and he plays it close to the vest. I give Doug credit. We're tight, and he doesn't pull any punches with me, but he just didn't want to brag on the horse. And he said, "Mike, this horse, his stamina is unbelievable." He said, "I just got to watch him. We got to worry about it because he's a speed horse. People don't realize he likes to get out on the lead early."
Yeah.
And I think that's why the previous owners couldn't figure him out either. He'd flame himself out too soon sometimes.
Right.
Doug said, "I think this horse can do it long. We just didn't know if 1.5 miles was in his future or not." And then, of course, he's proved that to me that he has, that he can.
Absolutely.
But he's just beyond the talent. And I'll tell you what, last year we thought that was the best we were going to see. He's stronger and better this year than he was last year. And he gets better every week. That's what even blows our mind. He's so, knock on wood here, and I'm afraid to even say this statement, but
I'm knocking.
He's sound as every horse we had. And he's already back from a 1.75 mile race, and he's out working again today. And I mean, it's
wow.
But his personality, we have such a following, or I should say the horse has such a following. I am so proud of this, but I've never seen a horse like this before. He is so cocky and so confident, and and he's just fun to be around. When we won the Brooklyn, he couldn't get off the camera. He kept following the cameraman around because he likes to have his picture taken. And they kept us in the winner's circle for almost 20 minits after the race. It was just amazing. We have so much fun with this, and we get a good group together. We all fly to the races together. I get a plane, and we all go up and just make a day out of it. And it's what racing is all about. And of course, we're so spoiled with this horse, what he's done. You can't say enough about him. And I'm so proud of him, but more proud of my trainer, Doug Cowens. He's responsible 100% and his team for all the success.
That's amazing.
I know too many owners that all of a sudden think they're owners or trainers. I'm not a trainer. I mean, Doug's taught me a lot, but I know my place in the racing game.
That's awesome. Michelle.
Mike, I know there's a lot of pressure from just people around. Hey, we need to run him in a big grade 1 going the 1.25 miles or whatnot. Has it been really hard to resist taking him out of his game where he is absolutely the best when it's not as popular to be a marathoner?
Oh, no doubt about it. This week we've heard about the Pacific Stakes. Hey, Readers
Come
Cup.
on, I got to stall.
Every Gold Cup is called. I mean, I'm confident that this horse can play with him. I'm serious. What's strong about him is Doug's developed this horse, but he's the fastest closing horse I've ever seen handicapped. He does that last quarter fractions. And I name a horse that can run 1.25 miles that's closing like a freight train like that. I haven't seen many of them. Outside of the Secretariat and all those. And I'm saying he's not at that level, but the problem of it is that Doug's developing, not to flame himself out at the beginning. We're worried about going 1.25 miles
because you'd have to go a little faster.
The thing of it is, if you want to go back and look at a great replay of what this horse can do, the game changer was our Brooklyn this year. They shortened it to 1 mile 3/8, and he put Krupe in his place. And Krupe is a very talented, serious horse. Don't mean to take anything away, but he beat Krupe by almost 10 lengths.
Yeah.
We haven't put the pedal down on him closing it. That's what people haven't realized. He's never been pressed coming in to the finish.
Right.
Lewin says, I just let him run in. He shows him the whip once in a while. And outside of that, Next may get mad at Lewin if he hit him with the whip. I don't know what would happen, but we've never had to push him all the way down to the 4 gas pedal where he had.
Well, we get a lot of breaking news on the show. A couple of weeks ago, we had Kenny McPeak, who basically announced that he was running Torpedo Anna in the Travers. Give us the breaking news. What is next for Next? I love that, by the way.
We're taking everything right now in consideration. You got to realize it's only been 9 days since the Birdstone, and that's a demanding race on a 25-day tournament.
Seriously? Has it only been 9 days?
Correct. It
Wow.
was last Sunday, the 4th.
Wow.
And you got to realize that's a 12-hour haul from Turfway Park.
Right.
We put ourselves at a disadvantage right now, not stabling at Saratoga, and we'd love to, but Doug runs his operation as he runs it.
Right.
So there might be pressure on him, but we're just going to take day by day, week by week. So
all right, give us a couple.
Worst case scenario, we're going to run at Parks in the Green. Well, if nothing else happens, I don't want to say that too loud because nobody will enter. That's what we're.
No one listens to the show anyway, Mike. Don't worry about
it. But the Greenwood, he won that last year by 25 lengths.
Right.
And I hate to say it was a laugher. It's not a laugher. It was just amazing. But that was our whole business plan for the year. We write a business plan when we get a horse, and we adjust it as needed. But the business plan is to run in the Greenwood. Now, if somebody comes to us and makes us an offer we can't refuse or something like that, as far as, why don't you please come and we'll pay the fees to have him run, well, we might entertain that. But
I'll do that. I'll do it right now for the Pacific Classic. We'd love to see him out here. That would be amazing.
They called Doug yesterday about it. They were filling us out.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna call today. I got power. I got a little bit of power at Del Mar.
I got power. You got power. You need to call Doug.
I was the judge at
the power.
I was the judge at the jockey karaoke. That should speak for something.
Well,
Mike, do you have a goal that you would love to see Next do, if this year, next year?
This year, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, and I'd love to see Next in the Classic. There's no two ways about it. I mean, and I'm not two guys that just, I learned one thing from day one. And my brake trainer taught me this, and Doug taught me this. Don't position a horse to win. Always position a horse to win. Don't run him over his head because it can mess up everything. And I believe in that. And take care of the horse first. So Next, our plan is to keep Next as sound as possible, because I think if he stays in this form, nobody's going to touch him next year at 1.5 miles an hour. And we may be forced. But I think the horse racing industry is telling a lot of people they want this type of racing to come back. So
absolutely.
Some of these tracks need to step up and make the more graded stakes, even if it's a grade 3, and put some purse money in there, not just for our benefit, but we might attract some good horses, because Next is beating some good horses over the last 2 years. He really
yes.
But this was horse racing back in the 70s, in the 60s, and in early 80s. There were milers and mile 3/8. So they don't have to make it 1.5 miles, but make it 1 mile 3/8 of these horses. But the breeders are changing the game too. I don't need to tell you people that. The breeders, they all want speed. It's that need for speed and the fast food mentality that we've had.
Which I'm so glad you brought that up very quickly. He is by Not This Time, who we see time and time again put forward a really fast under tack time at the OBS sales. I mean, it's always a bullet from Not This Time. There's so much speed in Not This Time, and here he is, happy to run 7 miles all day long.
And he can't. I mean, you can't slow him down. If you watch him when he runs out, he's still running. He'll just keep running. He runs 2 miles every day, but he enjoys this horse. And I said it in my interview with Blood Horse. This horse loves what he does. He comes out on the track and he stands there for 10 to 15 minutes and wants everybody to look at him and get out of my way. And then he
is handsome.
He is handsome. Hey, Mike, before we let you go, we haven't done this in a while, but I feel like you're a good person to ask this question. Someone who's just getting into ownership, give them one really good piece of advice that they could take away, before they jump in.
First of all, clearly understand the financial commitment, because people have no idea. We do it right. I mean, we put our horses on GastroGuard. It's $41 a tube a day. I mean, people don't realize the maintenance. If we have something going on, our horses are going to Bramley's down at Rood and Riddle or over to Haggard. We spend a fortune to take care of these horses and not run them when they're injured or juice them up,
we know
a vet way. But first of all, truly understand, all these guys get together and want to claim a horse for $5 or $10 grand. And 3 months later, they haven't ran and they don't know what's going on. And so you got to avoid that. But the other key is going back and find a trainer that has an interest in you and your horse and can help you. And you got to step up and say, hey, what are your goals? Do you want to just own 5,000 claimers? And if you're in the wrong state, you're never going to make any money. You can't pay your day rate. And I think that's the mistake that syndicates, I'm not going to criticize a syndicate. I know it's
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just not. I want to control my horse 100% with 100%, my
understand.
Yeah, that's it. But it's a fun way for a lot of people to at least get in the game, and it's supporting horse racing. So don't mean to be
Mike,
for it.
You've been a gem. We really appreciate taking the time to spend with us today. I'm going to use all the power I have to get Next out here to Southern California to run in the Pacific Classic. That is my goal. And when you fly out, Michelle and I want to be part of the entourage, if that's okay with you, because we don't have any horses running the Pacific Classic. Are you good with that?
Sure. We're wide open and good for anything. Now, let me say this though.
Yes.
We don't run in the Breeders' Cup. Tell Del Mar to bring back the Alliance
Marathon.
Oh, the marathon.
They canceled it. They're not going to run it this year.
Oh no.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we couldn't make it last year because we had an abrasion. We weren't going to pass the physical. He bumped himself, and it was abscessed up, and we wouldn't have passed the physical. We'd have been out there, and we wanted to defend our title. We just can't get tracks to write these races. And
Understood. All right, I'm going to work right now. I'm letting you go, and I'm literally calling right now.
Billy, get them to change the Pacific Classic distance to like a mile and a half.
It's a perfect prep. Run in the Pacific Classic, come right back in the Breeders' Cup. It's the same distance. Boom. Here we go.
They want us. Jockey Club wants us too.
Oh, you don't want to go all the way to New York. It's beautiful out here.
I know it is.
It rains there. It's hot. It's muggy.
Next does not mind the weather. He's a gray. Grays love the mud.
All right. Mike Foster. Thank you, buddy.
You guys are a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Mike Foster here on the Owner's Box. That was fun, Michelle. I always love meeting new people.
Great.
Oh, he's back. Michelle, you brought him back for a second. Now he's gone. He's back and he's gone. Now he's back. Now he's gone. Thank you, Mike, for joining us today.
Oh, wait, here he's back. We're going to say bye to him.
What are you doing?
It's because his computer froze. Or maybe mine did. Could have been mine.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Mike.
Thank you, Mike, so much. There he goes. Okay.
All right.
He was fantastic. And Next is like that Cinderella story that we're always looking for, right? And obviously a really great guy to root for.
I'm calling Del Mar right now with all my juice.
You're like,
all
David,
my juice.
David.
Let's get Next. All right, Michelle, what else we have to talk about? We have to talk about Adelphi, don't we?
Yes, definitely do. Actually, we have Adelphi as a sponsor, and we spoke with Joe Migliori a couple weeks back, who does all their bloodstock buying, and there was the New York bred sale. And I'm going to tell you, this is not in like our read. I'm just going to tell you what they bought in case you're interested. Okay. So they picked up a couple of horses, including a Not This Time for $270,000, a very nice looking dark bay. They also got a $230,000 Tacitus that was hip $459,000, and then they bought an Enticed filly and a Mendelssohn filly as well. So they were very active at the sales. That was the New York bred sale up there in Saratoga. So if you are in the market and looking, they have a couple of horses that will soon be offered. And if you want to know more about them, you can definitely log on to adelphiracing.com, or you can email Matt at Adelphi Racing, DLPHI Racing.com. Oh, your train. So really great. They have a Panda right now that you can cheer on.
Did you look at hip 541?
No. Was I supposed to?
Yeah.
No. In the New York bred sale?
Yeah.
No. What was it?
Look at it. Don't you have your thing right there?
No, I just have I'm just looking at their Twitter.
Man, come on.
The problem being here is that I don't have Wi-Fi, so I'm using everything off my phone. So the more I do on my phone or my computer, the slower it goes.
We'll talk about hip 541 next week.
Okay, I'll be excited. Also, Billy, just as a quick wrap up, I want to ask how the LRF Cares contest went.
Went great.
Because we did have that this weekend.
Yep.
Brett Wiener.
There's a lot of money. What's that?
Brett Wiener won. right?
Yeah, Brett Wiener was the champ, and we appreciate everybody who participated, raised some nice money for LRF Cares.
Over $12,000 actually raised to benefit LRF Cares.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, I mean, LF Cares, look, we take care of our own horses. That's absolutely true. But we also give to places like the PDJF, and if a horse needs something, we give to Karma. We do all kinds of other things as well. So it's a great cause, and we appreciate everybody out there who participated in the contest.
I also want to show you, I don't know if you saw this or not. I'm sure you did, but Little Red Feather used to have a really nice horse by the name of Red King.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Red King has become kind of like a Karma representative. He was a racehorse until he was like 150 years old. And then he obviously went into the aftercare program. And he's been so great. He's come back to Santa Anita and done like visits. He has like presented, but he actually went into the Pony Express re-ride, which was honoring the 19th century mail service of the Pony Express. And he did 2 legs. And here is a picture of Red King.
Wild. It's so awesome. I have the chills right now.
Isn't that so great?
Yeah, he's killing it.
He love that.
Yeah.
Actually, the other horse they had on there was a horse that we had trained named 2 Kids from the Bronx. So we had 2 horses that were Southern California based as part of this nationwide Pony Express ride. So I thought that was really awesome. And once again, we just love our aftercare scenario over here. And upcoming still is Karmathon. So
this weekend, next weekend, the 24th.
Next weekend,
will be
the 24th, right?
Yep.
But we keep talking about it, and you can. The donation is open now, so you can definitely donate now, so you don't forget. But if not, we'll just continuously nag you about that.
Yeah, we will nag you in a good way.
I do want to bring up my screens. What's coming up at Del Mar next? So just give me 2
We have the grade
seconds.
1 Del Mar Oaks this weekend, Michelle. Did you hear what I said?
The Del Mar Oaks is going to be so exciting.
It's going to be a great race. You got Ice Cream, You Scream. You got Maduro coming back.
So good. Ice Cream, You Scream works phenomenal.
You got D'Amato has Zona Verde, Ice Cream, and Circle of Trust. You have Buchu coming in, who's a really, really nice filly. You have another nice filly from back east coming in. So it's going to be a great race on Saturday. The grade 1 Del Mar Oaks on Saturday.
Here's a look at what's coming up at Del Mar on Thursday. Of course, we'll return to the races. Friday, do want to note that there is going to be a 3 p.m. first post from now on the Fridays. It was 4 o'clock, so they've moved that up as we're losing a little bit of daylight. We have the CTT and the TOC talking about marathoners. You mentioned the Del Mar Oaks already on Saturday. Sunday is the Solana Beach. We do have Daybreak both of those days. If you want to come out early and watch some of the workouts with me, I'll be there to answer any and all questions. So that's a quick glance at what is coming up at Del Mar this weekend. Whew,
very nice.
I feel like we're all done now.
I feel like we're done. I feel like we had a great show. Thank you to Michael Foster. Good luck to Next. Hopefully we will see him at the Pacific Classic, which is my goal in life now. And Michelle, you keep taking showers, and I won't. Bye,
I'll
everybody.
see you at dinner tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, dinner tomorrow night. So much fun. Okay.
Yay.
See you, everybody.
Bye.